It has now been, though it isn't mentioned, at least about, probably about 1 to 2 weeks in Earth time compared to that of Valerian time. And unlike humans, it doesn't take long for those who had once been slaves that she had freed as slaves. They learn the human tactical skills of his world's ancient medieval time period, though her world was going through this. So, as William appoints those who've shown the best skills to be certain commanders of certain tactical ranks, like spearmen and crossbowmen, long swordsmen, short swordsmen, and so on and so forth. William then has his friend that he considers to be a friend, Greyworm, leader of the Unsullied Warriors, take a message that the training for which Daenerys Stormborn of the House of Targaryen had appointed William to do has been completed. So Greyworm then goes and takes the message to the Pyramid Palace and confers with Missandei, who in turn then leads him to Daenerys. And he tells Daenerys that William has sent a message that all training has been completed. And so Daenerys, seeming surprised on this, because in 2 weeks, even in Valerian time, seemed to be a very short time, but hoping that, not that William would ever have some kind of deception on his part, that the training went well, decides to act on faith and take Greyworm's message from William that all went well in the training. He also informs her that William will be doing a human custom called a parade, and has invited the other Unsullied warriors to partake of this custom. Daenerys seems kind of surprised about this, and Greyworm then thinks that this probably could be something, though unusual, interesting to try, and with her permission, he takes his leave to join the other Unsullied warriors. Missandei also seemed to be having much anticipation to see this, joins Daenerys then out on the Pyramid Palace as they go out on the balcony to see how this parade, a human custom, of her new forces, along with the Unsullied warriors who will be leading this type of human type action or custom, turns out. And so thus begins the lengthy musical scene of the new created army of Daenerys Stormborn of the House of Targaryen. After quite the display, she was well stimulated, as if this was the biggest turn on for her with all this power. Greyworm then shows up because William had sent a special, again, flat style love letter to her, and she informs Greyworm that she wishes to have a word with William because he is deserving much of the reward. And looking at the love letter, knows it's from him because it is flat. Again, as the first one was. To her, it's like a waste of paper because he had to make his own envelope, which is something unheard of in her world. And then looking towards Missandei, who's having a drink, and Mrs. Greyworm, and amongst other things, meaning that because of the audio letter he sent her, though the device may have been laying outside of her box, she felt it was something he should have not grabbed anyway, because she's trying to break him out of using such things in her world. Missandei just kind of has this slight grin on her face, and then Daenerys hands her the letter, and looking towards her direction, asks if she would like to read this. So Missandei does. For those who are Game of Thrones fans, I guess you'll just have to wait for the rough draft production of Game of Thrones 2, Khaleesi's Ragged Spirit, to find out what the contents of the letter is. Needless to say, she's almost in quite the laughter because as she stops from reading aloud and sees certain other things, Daenerys looks a little suspicious about this. Missandei feels that perhaps maybe this is something she should read, so she takes the letter from Missandei and continues reading with a smile on her face. And as you can tell by the look on her face, she looks up like William's at it again. So she can't believe what she just read herself. Missandei, with a smile, kind of sees that William's up to his prowessness again. And it's all that Missandei can do to keep from laughing out loud, as Daenerys is starting to have a smile about this as well. Poor Missandei, she's supposed to be the handmaiden to Daenerys, and can see that this is causing a little too much stimulation for her handmaiden as well, when her handmaiden's doing all she can do to keep a straight face. So, like again, more human jokes, Daenerys decides perhaps he needs to learn a lesson again, because he seems to enjoy the punishment she gives him, and she's going to have to make the punishment a little bit stronger. But as Visionary says, she's not allowed to hurt him because he has a destiny for her. And that perhaps William needs to learn that it's not nice to tease the mother of dragons. So she then walks about, thinking about things. She goes to the balcony and takes a little bit of solitude. Missandei, after having regained composure, joins her on the balcony and sees that Daenerys is in thought, looking down from the balcony after the great parade had, of course, concluded, waiting for William to make his approach, with a slight grin, of course, as if she's up to something. Missandei, of course, asks her if there is anything wrong, and she turns to look at Missandei with quite a smile, and just tells her how proud of William she is, because he's not only obeyed her command to train her new army, but as she continues turning around, she is well pleased that he seems to have kept his promise about giving all his heart, mind, and soul, the gift of knowledge, and his life to her through a pledge of allegiance after she permitted him to live in the world. As they step inside, she kind of thinks about things as that perhaps maybe would be a good time to even give him a command. Missandei kind of finds this to be somewhat of a surprise, And Daenerys explains to her that though William has done his task in obeying her command and training the new army, that she can't think of anyone better to lead this because he is the symbolical male dragon sphere. So she writes up an order that is to be given to William at a certain banquet time. And so she then explains to Missandei that she would like to keep this private as a special surprise because he's got quite a few rewards already due him for the things that he has done and for the training of this new army. Missandei, although does her best, keeps her composure and understands this, and she swears not to say anything to William about this. In the meantime, she tells them, Missandei, to have someone go and make sure William is on the way. She understands this, and shortly after having delivered such message, one of the knights who keeps the peace within her kingdom reports to her as she turns around that William is on the way, and you can tell by her expression that she is kind of looking forward to catching William off guard, but not quite yet. As she is before, she plans on not letting him know what she has in store for him. So she's standing outside the balcony. William finally comes in, clears his throat, and asks how he may be of service to her. She then comes inside, and with a slight eyebrow raise and a slight grin, asks William to explain why he did that, what he did at the time she tested him on the war map. So he looks at it and gives her the explanations of how the first attack will be with the ones called the Harpy. He's not too concerned about the ones to the far east because since the Dothraki will most likely take them out, the only ones they have to face off is the other two forces up ahead. In the meantime, then all forces will be joining together, and shows how those that are trying to rise against her again to force her out of Marine and not on any throne would be most likely entering firsthand into Essos, but that at that point they will be ready for it. And with her ships there, and the prototype is still yet to be delivered of his ship design and of his world that comes from an old kingdom known as Greece, though it be just one and much larger, that perhaps other forces would probably join in once they make it to Westeros. Finally, he shows the conscripts again and shows how the first battle confrontation with the Harpy would be set up. She, again, likes how he is very well knowledgeable in this and that he has learned everything from his lessons. And stresses how she is proud of William's accomplishments. William, in turn, then informs her that he had come across some information regarding one called Jon Snow and wishes to find information out about it. Daenerys, of course, then starts to explain all that she knows about him, and during this scene, she will go and explain things to him, but because of going further back when she and Jon Snow had to fight the White Walkers, there's pretty much a blank as to what happened between the time of the fight with the White Walkers and or the connection of her attempting to marry Jon Snow, which would only last for 3 days till she was forced off. Or perhaps the information is confusing and she can't quite get it in order. Again, for the viewers, this will all depend on how series 7 and 8 of the original Game of Thrones turns out. And thus, if it turns out that she is to be somehow annihilated with Jon Snow because of the White Walkers, or she becomes one, but because she's the Mother of Dragons doesn't shatter like glass as a White Walker, then she'd be merely asleep on the other end of the side of the wall in the coldest of elements, which means then the movie, which is right now only known by title for the time being, Return of the Dragon Queen, would come before the miniseries, The Lost Pages of Time. So this becomes quite the musical explanation of what she knows about him. As it got quiet, William was spellbound by the things she told him. And he looks over then and sees that she's kind of looking down a bit. And as he walks up to her, asks if she's okay, and that he apologizes. Perhaps he shouldn't have asked. But she's okay with this and looks up at him and asks if this disturbs him, seeming a bit concerned. And William then squats down to her and takes her by the hand and assures her, as much as he had to set things straight with this one known as Dario, that he cannot be jealous of the past, because what's in the past is in the past. And though he be the only human of his kind from the dark blue star that shines brightly in the blaring night sky, he has learned much from her world, her customs and traditions, practices, the laws she enforces, and this greatly delights her, and that he accepts the fact that it was customary to keep the bloodline pure for her to marry Jon Snow, even if she was only for 3 days until this great invasion with mysterious ones beyond the known world forced her off the Iron Throne before he came into her world, as much as a brother or sister would get married to each other, or parents would marry their own siblings. She then looks at William, kind of in a curious way, and he continues to explain to her that he is here for her now. And perhaps, if it was possible and Jon Snow and him were to ever meet, perhaps Jon Snow would find him, hopefully, as amusing as she has. She kind of finds this a bit funny, and most likely tells William that most likely Jon Snow would think he would be an oddball, but whether he would accept William as an uncle, being much shorter, and from another world, would be something interesting to foresee. William then tells her that perhaps, if he's still alive, maybe they will find Jon Snow and ask if she still has feelings for him. And she, again, with a smile, assures William that not what she has for William, because she's not one to betray one's trust, and William assures her the same. And William encourages her to do as he would in his world, although she probably already knows this, that to love one's family member is not considered a sin or something to be guilty of. For her to love her nephew would be no different than he loves his niece in his world, because he has many nieces, and that as much as he loves his sister, it doesn't go beyond the fact that it's the love for a family member. And she accepts this, again, not saying anything and listening to him. He gives her a hug and kisses her sweetly on the lips, and then they are briefly interrupted by Greyworm, who almost feels embarrassed that he came in at the wrong time. And William tells Greyworm it's okay, that they were just finishing up a strategy meeting, which Mary kind of finds that a little humorous, because that's not exactly entirely true. She doesn't say anything. So he informs Daenerys that the prototype ship that is a design of William's world has finally arrived. So William, Daenerys, and Greyworm go and check this ship out, and she is amazed. It is very, very large. The only thing that needs to be done, which William feels would be appropriate, is on the biggest sail to put her emblem of the Mother of Dragons on it, and with her permission, the Dragon Sphere emblem on the smaller sail, because symbolically, because of symbolism and everything, and she's pleased how he accepts her symbolism, the Mother of Dragons, or in this case, female dragon, is much larger and stronger, and the male dragon, though timid, submissive, and very receptive to the Mother Dragon's needs, wishes, and commands, would be on the smaller scale, and she approves of this. And so, as she starts heading back upstairs, she then looks at William in a funny way, though in somewhat of a loving way, that he is to now report to the grand banquet room because she has something she wishes to give him. And then she will discuss his rewards, which she doesn't let on what she has in store for him as far as that goes. He does what she commands, and they go into the grand banquet hall. She then calls William over as everyone starts eating, and she made her announcement about how she's well pleased with everything that William has done in training the army. Hands him the document, and he reads it. William's quite surprised, and she kind of looks at him kind of strangely, like as if maybe this didn't go well, but again, it's a human emotion, and she understands that this is something that a human would do, and wipes the tears from his eyes, and he thanks her for trusting him and giving him a chance to prove himself to her. She speaks sweetly to him and lets him know that she has no reason to distrust him now, and that he has already proven himself to her, though he does tend to act inappropriately at times. She accepts him a long time ago, even since the time she first found him on the beach. Then tells William, as a command, that he needs to wait for her in her chambers, and perhaps he would be more comfortable if he got dressed in a robe, waiting for her. William's not sure where this is headed, but she already knows what she's got in store for him. And so as the banquet concludes, she then goes to the chamber, seeing William waiting, and then she also gets her robe on. But this won't be on for long, and she comes up behind William, and the way she had expected and planned, and totally turns him around, and without warning, rips his robe off, drops hers, and the first thing she does is slaps him on his rear bottom. He's like, ow! And she tells him this is for using the device that he was not supposed to get a hold of, and has a big smile about this. William didn't see this one coming, and throws him down on the bed and said, and this is for your achievements and for your inappropriate letter that you seem to keep doing because it must be a human thing. Well, for the viewers, you'll just have to use your imagination, because this concludes the chapter for Game of Thrones 2, Khaleesi's Dragon Spirit.